to do. So I want to welcome everybody to our smartphone Safari class, and I want to start out by showing you the Mevo. Now this is a really cool gadget. It's actually on the list. The reason I have to start out by showing you the Mevo is in case something goes incredibly wrong with it, I'm not going to lose it.
We haven't got a list.
Oh, you haven't got a list, okay. Boom-a-doom-a-doom. Pass that back to them. So we're going to start by talking about this little black thing right here. This is one of my favorite little cameras because it's essentially a cameraman in a box. So what it's doing is it's actually taking multiple shots. While you're up, stay standing up. My favorite, stay standing up. It's taking multiple shots. So you see it's got my face there. If he comes and stands right here, just go ahead and stand right here. It's going to start tracking his face separately as well, and my face, hopefully. And then I'll have a group shot, and it's actually got, if you move to the side just a bit so everyone can see, it's actually doing all of that, and the camera's following us both around. So as you move around, as you look around, the camera follows you around. This is how I record everything that I do online. So if you walk away, you can walk and sit back down. He will disappear. And then that page will fade out because there's no longer a person there. And I've turned around, so it's no longer there. And now I'm here. This is a really cool gadget.
Something like really good YouTubers use.
No, so really good YouTubers have a cameraman.
Oh, really?
Poor YouTubers, no, not poor, but lazy YouTubers have a Mevo. It's not actually designed for YouTube. It's designed for live streaming. But what's cool is you can actually edit with it as well. So if you set up different zones, like let's say I wanted to go towards that exit sign there, I can go like this, and it's actually zoomed in towards the exit sign right there. And it'll re-identify my face, and it'll re-edit my face, it'll move around, it'll zoom in. It's really quite cool. That's actually called the Mevo. It's having trouble with my hat, but if I flick my hat up, it does some quite interesting things. So today's class is broken into 3 different parts: apps, gadgets, and shooting scenarios. I am going to show you most of the camera gadgets that I have. Do I take these things with me every day? No, that would be crazy. But do I have them with me, and when I need them, I take them? So I want to show you all kinds of different things. I think you're Android, right? Okay, that's okay. A lot of this will work on Android as well, but I'm going to show you a whole bunch of different gadgets, a whole bunch of different gizmos. We're actually going to start with, I'm looking for one. We're going to start with what I'm wearing. Love this thing. This is called a Scotty vest. It's fantastic. If you see me out in the ports, this is what I'll be wearing. Number one, because it's got about 45 pockets in it. So it's got about 45 pockets in it. Also, what it has that's very, very cool is it has an inside zippered pocket with another zipper inside for putting your passport. So you do have to carry, for the Americans especially, you have to carry your passport with you in all these ports. EU can carry an EU identity card, but for the Americans, you've got to carry a passport. And you know what happens if you lose your passport in Russia? You're staying in Russia a long time, so you don't want to do that. But what I love about the Scotty vest is it came out, and it was originally designed, it had a big pocket that was designed to hold a magazine. What do you think is about the same size as a magazine that made this really take out in popularity? An iPad. So this became the tech jacket. This was the tech vest. And what's cool, this is before Bluetooth was a big thing, this one. It actually has something called a PAN, or Personal Area Network, for putting your headphones. So you can take wired headphones and put them all up into your collar and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, but the cool thing is you've got a lot of different pockets. And one of the really cool things is you can actually touch through the pockets. So the pockets are see-through, if my phone's not in a giant case, are see-through and touch-through. And I can move throughout the pockets. I can do all of these things right in there. It's called a Scotty vest, and it has all kinds of different pockets. It even has a built-in cleaning cloth. Let's talk about built-in charger. Now the cleaning cloth is also a map to the pockets. Tells you what's in the pockets. But what's also very cool is I have a place that I store toilet paper in. Because you go sometimes you go places that don't have toilet paper. So it's called Russian rubles. When you leave Russia, they might as well be toilet paper. I've had these for a year and a half. No one will touch them. So I would just avoid walking out of Russia with any rubles. That's my word of advice to you. But here's the cool thing about this one. This one's actually called the Scotty Vest Transformer because it transforms. Oh, I thought that fell out. That's fine. This has sleeves. But the cool thing about the sleeves is the sleeves are magnetic. So there's no zippers to break or anything like that. And why I show this is if you go out and you have a lot of gadgets and a lot of battery chargers and stuff like that, well, you've got enough pockets to store all of that stuff inside of. It's all magnetic, so if you have a pacemaker, don't buy this. Elsewise, it's fully magnetic. It's very cool. And it's a little big on me, but I've had this one for a couple of years. And they make underwear that have pockets to hold your passport. They make bras that have passport pockets. The name of the company is Scott E. Vest. They're an online company. Now, a lot of the stuff I'm going to show you, essentially almost everything I'm going to show you on this list today, is not things you're going to find in a store. Why that is because it costs millions of dollars to get on the shelf in a store. I'm showing you small companies that make really cool products that I use every day. There are some exceptions to this rule where I'm going to show you some bigger things, but I want to start with,
Price.
Price on Scotty Vest ranges from about $30 up to about $150. They have suit jackets and different things like that. They have simple vests. If you go directly from their website, they have specials on it all the time and things like that. Now these are called the eye rollers. They are cleaners for your screen on your device. The nice thing is they are reusable. So you can reuse them multiple times, and they just take off the fingerprints. Now, I will pass them around, but there's a very simple rule. If you have a plastic screen protector, do not use them because they will rip off the plastic screen protector. If you have no screen protector or a glass screen protector, feel free. We're going to talk about, everybody should have a glass screen protector. In the next class we meet, we're going to talk about glass screen protectors, the purpose of glass screen protectors. I have some broken ones I'm going to show you. But for now, these are called the eye rollers. Now, if these were to be in the store, what's a good price you'd see these at? About $30, to give you an idea. Amazon, they're about $7. So these things are things that you've probably never heard of, so that's why I want to show you some of these little gadgets and things like that. So I'll pass that one around and that one around. I'm going to go through the gadgets first, and then we'll go to some different places. Ooh, I put something in here. It's in the bottom of one of these bags. Let me find it. The next thing I have, Apple Watch camera remote. I'm going to show you when we're out and about and we're moving around the ship. So don't worry about that one right this second. I do have something I want to show you that should be in the bottom of the bag. Here we go. The next thing is the iPhone and iPad camera connection kit, and one from my friend over here as well, because he has an Android phone. So iPhone and iPad camera connection kit. This little thing right here will let you take the pictures from your SD card and put them into your iPhone or iPad. One very important thing. Only buy the iPhone and iPad camera connection kit at an Apple store. Do not buy it at a Future Shop, a Dixon's, a Curry's, an EE, anything like that. I've had people over the years, this is the truth of these things. There are a lot of knockoffs of these. People will go to the stores, buy the legitimate ones, cut them open, put the knockoffs inside, and return them. I've seen more than enough fake ones come from Best Buy, from John Lewis, everywhere like that. If you buy it in an Apple store, when someone sends a return to the Apple store, they don't put it back on the shelves, even if it's sealed. They send it back to the factory. So this one is a legitimate working one, so I would recommend. Now, I don't have them on board because they always tell me they're not on my order form. I wish I had them on board. But for my Samsung friend, they also make a micro USB one that just goes into your phone, and you can actually connect either a SD card or a micro SD card directly to your device. So you can connect a micro SD card or an SD card directly to your device. Now, there was something I showed earlier. I'm looking for where he disappeared to. This guy. I want to talk about him a little bit more intensely. This is the GorillaPod. If you get one accessory out of everything here, and this is something you can find in stores, you can find on Amazon. If you get one accessory, probably GorillaPod's the way to go. It's got all kinds of different mounts and flexibilities and things like that. And you can wrap the legs. And like I said, most surfaces on the ship, except for in this room, these are magnetic. Most surfaces on the ship, like your walls and your cabins and everything, are fully magnetic. So you can stick it there, you can stick it there, you can stick it anywhere. That's the concept behind it. So we can take those, we can stick those anywhere. That's called the GorillaPod. Have any of you ever owned a selfie stick before, though? Mm-hmm. Yes. Have they all broken on you? Mm-hmm. They're flimsy little pieces of metal that break. This is my selfie stick. It is a forged piece of aluminum that good luck breaking. And I've actually used this to fend off attackers before, as I've taken the phone off the selfie stick. And I've done it, but what I like about this one, I don't generally use this for my phone, I use it for my GoPro. it actually has a strap right here. So you got a Velcro strap. You put it right there. It's from a company called Accessories, which is what's a really cool one. Now I'm going through these a little quick, but I wanted to show you everything here. Anybody own a battery pack for their phone or their tablet or anything like that? If you have a battery pack, the thing is you have to remember to charge the battery pack, and then you have to remember to bring the cables. Yeah, I know you have I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna one up you on that in class number 3. Oh no, my battery pack. You have a battery pack. I have a battery pack that charges wirelessly on my phone. It's actually really cool. So I'll show you that one. So I never plug in my phone. But that's for class number 3. This guy is really cool because it's a little battery pack. But the cool function about it is it has the cables built in. So that's iPhone and that's Android. Everything on this list you can find on Amazon. And they're all relatively inexpensive. Now, if you were to buy them in a store, they would be a lot more expensive. Now, something that came, I'm showing you the Jackery Bolt. This is something very interesting that came in my last shipment of stuff, and I'd never seen something like this before. Unfortunately, I have no more of them on board. They are on Amazon, but they're a little higher on Amazon. We got them as a test product, and I showed it one day, and in one day, we sold out of 70 of them, to give you an idea there. We showed it as and it's from a company called M-Edge, and this is not the product this is not the battery pack it comes with, but what's cool is you can take this guy right here, you plug in your battery pack inside of it, and then where it gets cool is you don't actually have to open the bag. You have a USB out and a USB in right on the outside of the bag, which is really cool. So we have a USB in, USB out right on the outside of the bag. We don't need to worry about taking the battery pack in and out. And the nice thing is it was pretty cheap. It was $30 and it came with a battery pack. So it came with the battery pack inside. Usually it was something we got 70 of them just to test out, and I showed it. And we weren't in Celebrity Central, we were in the theater. People were fighting themselves to buy 5 or 6 of them for people. I was like, I had to limit people to 1.
Sure.
But it was a really cool, it still is. I have one. We had one that had a defective battery pack inside of it, so I've taken it and replaced it with my own battery pack, but I can take this Jackery Bolt, and it's a bag that also has a lot of that stuff built in. Now, how many of you have a lot of cables all around your house? Where'd that cable go? I have a cable. This is going to sound like a pipe dream. Imagine if you could replace all of your cables with one cable.
Wow. Wonderful.
Now, I'm going to show you the granddad to this cable. This is the granddad before the actual cable. That had, you remember the old connector for the older iPhones and the older iPads? And then it had micro USB, which is what a lot of the Android phones use. And then it had the big USB, mini USB. So it had all of these different connectors right on it. This one is from a company called Nomad, and they make some of the coolest tech stuff I've ever seen. I want to show you some of the stuff that Nomad makes. And it works on iPhone, on Android, on everything like that. This is a cable, one cable, so I have USB lead, and then I have on here, you know, if you have Apple devices, you have everything charged with the Apple cable, and then you have that other cable.
Exactly.
This is that other cable. Put a head on it, it becomes an iPhone cable. Put another head on it, this is what we're going to talk about in a couple of days' time, and then you're going to go, oh, they're going to change the cable on the iPhones and iPads again.
Of course they are.
For the last time, though, which is good.
Really?
No, let me tell you the truth. Here's the thing. This is reversible like the iPhone and iPad cable, and what's cool is I can charge, this is called USB-C, I can charge every one of my devices off of this cable, my laptop, my Samsung phone, everything off of this single cable except for my iPhone. In the European Union, they are forcing tech companies by 2020 to all go to this single cable. So by 2020 in the EU, they have to be on this cable. It might not happen this year, but it has to happen next year, because by 2020, all the devices sold have to have that cable. I'm assuming it's going to happen this year, because you know they stick the iPhones around for a year or two.
Yes, they do.
So they stick around for a year or two, so it kind of has to happen this year so that the whole lineup in 2020 uses that cable. The rumors are, though, that they found a way to make this and this work together, so you can use old lightning cables. But the nice thing is, this cable, USB-C, is an open standard, so it'll work across any type of device. It's really cool. It's an open standard. It works across any type of device. And we've got that guy right there. But they make some other cool ones. This is my wallet. Can I borrow someone's iPhone real quick? You got an iPhone? Yeah. I'm going to borrow her iPhone. This is my wallet. This is a great gift for men. It's from Nomad as well, and it's actually got a battery charger inside it for your iPhone.
Oh my God.
So you have an additional charge for your iPhone right inside the wallet. You have an indicator right there. They make an Android version as well, and you actually have an additional full charge. And I never use it because I have a battery pack on my iPhone. So I know
Charge up the wallet.
you charge up the wallet. So yes, you charge up the wallet, which is.
Cool.
And that's the, which one?
These are all from Nomad. These are all from the company Nomad. Another one that's cool. This is something they only make this for iPad. They don't make it for Android. This one's really quite interesting. This is all Nomad. These are all from a small company you've never heard of called Nomad. It's got a USB on one end, it's got a Lightning on the other, and a pregnancy in the middle.
Yeah.
This is a battery pack. So you actually have a battery pack that's designed just for iPhones and iPads. And so even without the cable, I plug that in, her phone's charging. So when I plug it in, it charges the phone and
And the charger.
the charger. So you take that with you, and it works really, really quite well. And the last well, actually, I have two more Nomad things. I have a lot of Nomad things. This one's cool. I can't show you exactly what it does. I have to put it in my pocket behind my back. I'm going to pass this around, see if you can figure out what that does. That's a Nomad product. That's the first product they ever sent me. And they did not give me any instructions, anything like that. The Americans will probably get it. The UK people probably won't know what that does, to be completely honest. But this one is the last Nomad product I have, which is actually a little circle. It's called the Pod Pro, and it's got a charger for the phone and a charger for
Your watch.
the watch.
Wow.
And they make things for the Android, they make them for the iPhone, they make them for all that. Here's the thing to understand though. This provider, much like another one we're going to talk about called Anchor, generally just sells their products online. So they're just selling their products online, so it's not as likely that you're going to see these things. And I put the website there, I think hellonomad.com is where you can find these guys, and they're relatively cheap in the end of the day. Now, what I want to show you now is a kit, and then we're going to move to some apps. Actually, I want to show you the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. My favorite thing
Oh, I love it.
ever.
Oh, yeah.
If you have tech that you need to clean, all you do is Mr. Clean Magic Eraser it. So if you were to look at, I think I can show you this without destroying anything. My laptop is disgusting. I didn't clean it before I brought it up here. You see all that grease that's on the touchpad there? There's really no way to get that off other than this Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. If you put any water or anything on it, it's going to get inside the touchpad and you're going to wind up with a lot bigger problems in the long run. This Mr. Clean Magic Eraser is nasty, but now my touchpad is completely clean. And these are like less than £1.
Is that good for something like a flat screen TV at home, for example?
I would use something like the eye roller instead for that. This is more for finger oils. So this will work. The eye roller is best for a flat screen TV overall. That guy would be the best for that. Now, the last thing I want to show you is something cool. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I need to get my my screen up and running to throw it up on the screen. It's actually a set. It's a kit. And this is when you really want to talk about the kit I'm about to show you is something that was sold by Apple a couple years ago. And a lot of this will work with non-Apple devices as well. But I want to show you the fact that these exist. This is where you take your phone essentially to the next level. Let me get new screen recording. Let's record. This is where you take your phone or your tablet. Hey. Okay, there we go. It's working. To the next level. Now this is something I carry around with me all the time. It's called it's actually called the iPhone Camera Connect. No, God, I'm calling it the wrong thing. This is called the iPhone Digital Video Kit. This is what it was called. And I got this as a gift for all the iLounge managers a couple years ago. But a lot of this will work across iPhones and Androids and everything like that. And it comes with everything in the bag. Now, everything in the bag priced separately was about $700 or $800 at the time. And this was $299. So I want to show you, that's my dinky little tripod, this little thing right there. This is my main tripod I use. This is from a company called Manfrotto. And this company is a very, very well-known camera company. I've got my Manfrotto tripod right here. I'm going to open it up all the way. Now, if you have a tripod like this, do you want to take your phone and put it in something like this. This doesn't look very secure if you were to mount that there. So what's cool is in the kit, they actually now make tripod mounts for smartphones. You know, do they have a screw in the smartphone? How do they go about doing that? You can actually stabilize it with a full tripod for your phone. Now this will work with any phone that's phone sized. I take it, I put it right here, and then I just screw in the phone. Now a lot of news stations are now having their people go out in the field and shoot their own video. Because you can just take a smartphone and you can do this. You don't really need a cameraman. I mean, I've started a YouTube channel with a little dinky Mevo thing. And I've got this right here, and then I keep my phone completely still. When you're taking a video, when you're doing different things like that, you want to go ahead and keep your device as still as possible, and you can keep it still. But why I have this still is because I want to show you something. So there's a picture, there's a still picture. This is how the picture comes out of your phone. Something I don't address in the normal camera class that I do in Celebrity Central is zoom. The quick answer is, if you want to zoom in with your phone, the quick and simple answer is don't. Don't. Don't zoom in with your phone because you lose a significant amount of quality. So this is a 12 megapixel picture right here. This is a 12 megapixel picture. I'm going to zoom 2 times closer. I'm not going to move the camera. I'm going to zoom 2 times closer. How many megapixels is that picture now? If it's zoomed 2 times closer. It's a digital zoom.
6.
It's actually a squared function, so it's closer to 3. So it's between 3 and 4 megapixels. If you zoom, you lose a significant amount of quality. Now you're not seeing it on this screen because, believe it or not, this screen is 1080p, which is only a single megapixel. So when you're talking about 4K TV, it's only 4 megapixels. So if you're looking at a photo from your phone on a 4K TV, you're only seeing a quarter of the quality because you have a 12 megapixel picture. That's the idea. But imagine if they made lenses that can go on here. Now the reason I put it on the tripod is I want to show you how these lenses work. I've got 2 lenses with me. This is the lens that comes with the kit. I'm going to take a picture right here. And that is just a picture as it would normally be taken. So you see how that is right there. Now I'm going to take a picture, slightly different picture. So I'm just going to slide a lens on top of the phone. Do you see the difference now? Do you see what a bigger shot we have there? So just by sliding a lens on a smartphone, it's like you've gotten a big lens on a big camera, and you can do that. So you can turn your phone into a GoPro. Now they make these lenses, they make them in good lenses and bad lenses. The best company is Olloclip. They make some lenses that just, and you have it on the list, they make some lenses that just clip on. Those are a little, The best company for making lenses, what phone do you have? What Android phone do you have? Do you know? Standard Android?
Yes, I'm
I'm just looking, was it like a Samsung or?
No, it's
Okay, so they make some clip-on lenses for your phone. The same company makes some clip-on lenses, but not only can we zoom out, we can also zoom in. So we go to this standard shot. Should have there's a live shot. And when I go like this, I've zoomed in. Now here's the question. How many megapixels is that now?
still 12.
It's still 12. Because we're doing an optical zoom instead of a digital zoom. So you want to avoid digital zoom at all points possible. And we can actually zoom in, we can zoom out. Now one of the nice things is, you saw that zoom lens I just put on this phone. The iPhone 7 Plus has that same zoom lens built in to the phone. So you don't need the zoom lens. Apple worked with Olloclip and they put it in. But there's wide angle, there's zoom, and then there's another thing called macro. Have you ever heard of macro before?
Yeah.
So what macro is, if I have, I need to borrow from a lady a ring. Can I borrow your ring? I'm not going to steal it.
Hang on.
Does it come on?
Must be something to do with being on the photo.
Oh yeah, it's the salt water. Yeah. But here's the thing. If I try and get really close to that ring, is it going to focus?
No.
It's not going to focus. So the other type of lenses you can get are what are called macro lenses. Now what macro lenses allow you to do is they allow you to focus right up close to an image. So I've got that image, and now it's completely blurry, as we can see. But what I do is I come close.
Oh my goodness.
And it clears up. I've just shown you with about $100 in parts how to make your iPhone just as powerful as a full-size camera that you can switch out lenses with. So it's really cool, and you can even see there's inscriptions inside of rings, if you can see an inscription. I think there might be. See it there. It says, Madam Sina. Made in China, okay, sorry. That said Madam Sina. But the cool thing is I can go in and I can do that, but where these are getting interesting is the lenses are starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now I'm going to show you something that is not on my list. The reason it is not on my list is because I do not recommend this product. But I want to show you this product because it's interesting where these things are going. This product, it was on my list until I removed it from my list. And the reason I removed it from my list will become apparent in a minute as soon as I find the pieces. So here we go. So this is actually a case for the iPhone. It's for my 7 Plus. And what's cool about the case is the case has inside of it a track for lenses. So instead of needing all these big lenses, you can put on a track for lenses. And I'll show you what that means. Let me put this up on the screen real quick. So it has a track for lenses, and this iPhone has a magnification inside of it of 2 times. But what if I were to put 2 times more on the top of it? So it comes with, it's from a company called Camerar. Please don't write it down. I'll show you why in a second. I'll show you why I can't recommend it. But what I've got, thank you for telling me my transfer is complete. What I've got is, so you're starting to see why I can't recommend it. But I just want to show you where this is headed, because when a real manufacturer makes this, this will be really cool. So I can go and zoom 2 times, and then I can put this lens over the camera, and if it clicks in, and it essentially zooms 4 times. It's not perfect. It used to click into place. Now you can see it doesn't, because it just doesn't. It's just very angry with me. But the problem I can't recommend it is because it's a cool concept. Is these lenses are a lot smaller than those other lenses, and they make them for a lot of phones. The problem is you see how well it works. The other one I just kind of clipped on the lenses. But I want to show you where this is going, because this is eventually what you'll have, is you'll just have, these are different levels of zoom lenses. So in these little cases, you have different levels of zoom lenses, and you've got a case, and you just slide it on there, and you get a different level of zoom based on your case. But we've talked about photos, we've talked about video. The one thing we haven't talked about is audio. When you're taking video, generally you have pretty terrible audio. And with iPhones before, like this little iPhone right here, you could plug in a microphone into the headphone jack and you'd be okay. But you can't do that anymore with the newer iPhones because they don't have headphone jacks, and most phones won't in the future. So there's a company called Shure, and you've probably never heard of Shure before, S-U-R-E, but you've probably used their products. If you've ever used a microphone before, almost every wireless microphone and wired microphone in the world is made by Shure, and this is a microphone that plugs into the phone. So they make them with Lightning, they make them with micro USB, they make them with USB Type-C, which covers all the different devices, and it's called the Shure Motiv, M-O-T-I-V. And the cool thing is I can actually expand out the range of the audio. So you see I've got 60-degree range, 75-degree range, 105-degree range, 120-degree range, 135-degree range. So if I put it to 60-degree range, if any of you talked, it wouldn't catch you. Only this center table would it catch, because you're at the 60-degree spectrum. And you can shotgun, you can do all that. This is actually a professional microphone, all built inside. Unfortunately, Apple doesn't sell these things as a kit anymore. But like, I'll give you an idea. When they were selling it as a kit, this microphone was $249. So for $299, you got the microphone, the lens, the tripod, everything like that. It was a great deal. We sold them on board for a very brief period of time as well, because we got them on board. It's not something that Apple sells as a kit anymore, but all the pieces are still available individually. So all the pieces are still available individually. What I want to do now, though, is I want to talk about some apps. Now, these apps will work across iPhones and iPads and Androids and different devices like that. So we're going to spend about 15, 20 minutes talking about some apps, and then we're going to go out and we're going to take a walk around the ship. I've taken a look at all the gadgets, but now let's take a look at some apps. Now, the first app is meant as a joke. Someone took this app much too seriously last cruise and said, "I'm offended." I was like, okay, go ahead, be offended. It's It's called Fat Booth. It's a camera app that shows you what you're going to look like after you finish the cruise. When they take your embarkation photos, and it's like, okay, let's get a little closer, and takes a picture. Here we go. And we should see a before and after. Oh, no, I don't want her. I got her, not him. Hold on, I need him. There we go. Yeah, she's hiding her face. She's like, I don't want to get on this. Okay. Well, it's a little lopsided, but there we go. And then we say, ready, go. Yummy, 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 and...
Oh my.
Oh!
Before the cruise?
That's very naughty.
Oh, it's not cruel. It's all in good fun. What?
Oh, no.
It's not very nice. Oh, okay.
Did it make you about 25 instead?
Does it make you what?
25
25.
instead of 17?
So there was one called Aging Booth. The problem was every person I took a picture of, it just went far too far. So they make Fat Booth, Aging Booth, Young Booth, Beauty Booth. This company, if you go in and you look, they have all kinds of different booths. But Fat Booth is the one that gets me, that I really like. Now, the ones with stars on them are paid applications. The ones without stars are free applications. We're in the first section. We're going to go to the third section last. But the paid ones are starred applications. This is a paid one. It's called Fast Camera. And what it does is, and the paid ones are like $2. They're not bad. Is it takes pictures as fast as your device possibly can. So, in just the amount of time I said the word can, it's actually taken 57 pictures.
Oh my God.
The nice thing is it's not like a burst mode. You don't have to hold it down. You just open up the app, you hit start, and it starts taking pictures. You'll see the number of pictures down here on the bottom.
Wow.
And we stop, and we can review them.
Wow.
And here's all the pictures. And they're all full quality pictures. So they're all full quality in the pictures that we're taking right there. It's called Fast Camera. I just want to give you a little idea on what each of these do. The next one's called Selfie 360. This is one the kids don't really know about. Have any of you taken a selfie before? This is a 360-degree selfie. Dangerous to do it. And then it processes it. And you can share that selfie. You can run it in reverse, you can run it one way, run it another, or you can run it in all those different ways. It's just a cute app. I'm going to show you some cute ones. This one is good because Christmas is coming up soon. It's called Elf Yourself. You ever heard of this one before? Elf Yourself. Very cute. I need to turn on the volume for this one. Yeah. Elf Yourself, and it makes an elf video.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I feel you. You got someone sent you that for Christmas last year?
Our kids did, yeah.
Well, this is how they did it. And you just put in the elf. Hit next. Add another elf. That's what we have the back camera for. I'm gonna make her fat. No. Go for it. And then we say, let's dance.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It's a cute one. It's called Elf Yourself. It's a free application. Now, this is the one, if you download just one thing on this list, this is the one that you should download. It's called Camera 51. It's a strange app because it came out for Android first. Generally, things come out for iPhone first and Android second, but this came out for Android first and iPhone second. It's called Camera 51. And what it does is it teaches you how to take pictures better. So when you're taking the picture, what it'll do is it will tell you where you need to move the phone to. So you see I have my phone, and then you'll see I have, and it's giving me a little thumbs up. Now if I were to take it like this, see, it wants me to move it to there. To follow what's called the rule of thirds, which is something we're going to talk about a bit later on. So if I go like this, it's going to automatically detect it, and it's going to show me where to move the picture to, and it's going to give me a little thumbs up that I'm taking the picture correctly. It uses a lot of different algorithms. It notices landscape shots. It notices portrait shots. And it'll notice, it won't tell you not to do it this way. It should. It should tell you not to do it that way. But you'll go in and it'll give you a little thumbs up. It's going to analyze the picture and it's going to go, okay, you want to move it there to get a better shot of those people. You want to move it there to get a better shot of those people. And I'm not taking the pictures. I'm just kind of showing you where it goes. It'll walk you through it. It's called Camera 51. This next one is another example of Google solving a problem that Apple made. If you have an iPhone that takes, you know the one that takes the little pictures, it takes a little bit of video before the picture and a little bit of video after the picture, it's what's called a live photo. There's an application called Motion Stills that makes sense of live photos. So it takes your live photos and animates them. So even remember the picture from yesterday?
Oh my goodness.
So I can then send that photo as an image, as a GIF, as a moving picture. So like with the people walking in the background, I can send it, or the picture of the chocolate shop. Sometimes you don't get super useful. That's Rolando picking out chocolate in Bruges. I'll give you an example. That's my lasagna that I had, and it's actually bubbling. And in the live picture, you can actually see it bubble. So you
And
can see
it's
some.
making that happen from a still photo.
As long as your Apple device has on it these little 3 concentric circles. You need to have at least an iPhone 6S to have that on. So iPhone 6S or iPhone 7. I'm turning on my battery case. But it will go ahead and it will do that. And these little concentric circles, these little yellow things, need to be on right there in order for it to do it. That is called Motion Stills. The next app is called Fuse, F-Y-U-S-E. And this is a really cool one. This is owned now by by Facebook. So it's owned by Facebook now. But essentially what it does is it takes pictures in 360 degrees. So have you ever seen the movie The Matrix before, where they fly around someone in bullet time? I'm going to have you stand up right about here, and I'm going to tuck in your chair, because I need to walk all the way around you. So just have us stand right in the middle so I can walk all the way around you. I need to pick her as an object. And then I need to, you moved in multiple directions. Okay, I'm going to move in a single direction. And what I'm doing is I'm actually mapping her in 3D space. Think it's going to work? There we go. So now I don't just have a single dimensional picture of her. I have a full 3-dimensional picture. I'm not going to save it, don't worry about it. Just to show you the concept, and I can actually move all the way around the picture. So you can do things like that. You know, if you go, you see a landmark, Statue of David, a fountain in the Hermitage. If you've never been to the Hermitage, there's just these huge rooms that you can do that in. It's very similar to like my 360 camera that I showed you, but it's for an object that you can move all the way around. So you make a 360-degree view of that object. It's called Fuse, F-Y-U-S-E. Action Movie FX. It's actually made by a company called Bad Robot, which is owned by J.J. Abrams, the guy who makes all the action movies, Star Wars, all those other things like that. And I can go in, where's the originals? Oh. So this is an example of one that's a missile attack. That's just for adding a bit of extra fun to your videos. You're going to panic when I point to you, like you're about to get struck by a missile. She's doing good. I'm impressed. And it's going to overlay missiles and Star Wars and Darth Vader and stuff, whatever you choose. Right on top of you. And you go in and you actually have those things laid out on the top of you. It's very, very cool. That's called Action Movie FX. I'm going to show you Pixelmator. I really want to get a chance to show you Pixelmator, so I'm going to table that till the iPhone and iPad, till the apps class we're going to do later on, the smartphone apps. I want to show you Pixelmator in really good detail. But one that's cool is called Prisma, P-R-I-S-M-A. What this does is, this was the app of the year last year. It's available on iPhone, it's available on Android, and you just take a picture, and it does really cool things with that picture. Now, it uses the cloud to do this, but it's going to take that picture and it's going to do something quite cool with it, I think. Let's see, do something cool. I'm just waiting for it to do something cool. Come on. It's sending it up to the cloud, and in a few seconds it should, I'm going to choose something else if it doesn't want to let me do that. Let's try disco. And it's going to make a really, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
That's good.
It's going to take it and it's going to make it a piece of artwork, essentially.
Exactly.
That's actually really cool.
It's really cool, but it's not, the cool thing to understand is it's not doing this on the phone. It's doing it all in the cloud. So it's sending that picture up and it's doing it in the cloud. It's better than if someone would have sketched you on the streets
Yeah.
in some port. You can go in.
But you can save it on your phone.
Yeah, yeah, you save it on your phone. It's sending it to the cloud to actually process it, and then you can save it on your phone after the fact for sure. If I wanted to give her curly hair, I don't really know what that does, I can go ahead and I can put in all of these different backgrounds and different things like that. I will let that run for a little bit. That's called Prisma. There we go. So that looks almost like a portrait that someone's
It
drawn.
does. It looks like a drawing.
And I can say I want to save it or share it, and when I hit save, it should just go into my camera roll. You see theirs before?
Terrific.
It's a really awesome app. It's called Prisma. And it looks like a drawing. It looks like somebody, it looks like she
It does.
paid someone a lot of money. I came across, there's this new thing, it's a picture frame. Came across this last night on Facebook. There's this picture frame. It's an artwork frame. It's like $600, and it's a digital artwork frame, and you download different artwork to it. I'm not going to tell the art gallery guys about it, but it looks like printed paper. It's really quite cool, but you can change the artwork every single day of what you have inside of it. So I've got 2 or 3 more apps, and I want to talk about the Flash a little bit, and then we're going to wait for Rolando to come, and we're going to do that. I showed an app earlier called Horizon, which I showed this in the class earlier in Celebrity Central, but it makes sure, even if you're taking pictures the wrong way, it takes pictures the right way, so it always fills the whole screen. So if you can't get someone to take pictures the right way, now this did not exist when I was with my ex-girlfriend, so this might have saved our problems, but
There might be hope.
no, there's no hope. That girl was too far gone. That girl was too far gone. That girl, I don't think I'm going to find a future wife on a cruise ship. That's where I've come to, but that's a story for another day. I've got 2 more left that I want to talk about. Then I want to talk about the Flash, and then Orlando's going to come and we're going to get headed out of here. This one is called Front Back, and what it does is it takes a picture of what's going on in front of you and what's going on behind you at the same time. So it uses the back camera. Oh, that's upside down. That's upside down. Let's go like this. So the idea is it merges together what you're seeing and your reaction.
Oh my goodness.
So it's called Front Back. It uses a picture from the front, picture from the back, and then I can say if I want to send it, if I want to save it to my library, and I can say save to library, and then it's saved to my library, and it should be right inside of my camera roll. There's my front back shot. So you see what's going on in front and what's going on in the back. Manual. This is very cool. This is something that's available on Android as well, but it gives you, if you do like cameras and you know cameras and ISO and different things like that, this gives you full control over the camera. So you can up the ISO, you can up your different focus points, you can turn on the autofocus, turn off the autofocus. If you don't know what any of this means, just stick to the camera that's on your iPhone. ISO is the brightness, you can adjust the shutter speed.
Oh.
These cameras are now just as good as traditional cameras. The problem is the manufacturers like Apple don't want to overwhelm you by putting a full manual mode inside of the simple little camera app. Now we've got a couple apps we didn't talk about here. We're going to bring them in the apps class, but we're going to get going in a few minutes' time, taking a walk around the ship. But I want to talk about the Flash and the physical camera first, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to walk around the ship for about 25 minutes or so. I'm going to show you some different things. So I want to talk about the Flash and the physical camera. This is actually a really cool image I want to show you, and it's actually from the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. This is not the one that explodes, it's the one before that. But a lot of people don't realize that the camera on your phone is not just sitting in your phone. Let me get it. So this is, I've never seen this visually before.
Image stabilization. The camera itself is stabilizing while
You
I
said the
move it
camera
around,
actually
and this is
moves.
what's going to keep your videos and images clear
All
while
of
you're
your cameras
walking
inside of all of your
over
phones are doing this.
There's 2 ways to stabilize images. There's optical image stabilization and there's digital image stabilization. The digital is just a software where it takes.
So it's actually really cool. You probably didn't, I had never seen that personally, is that your camera is actually floating inside of a little bubble, essentially. It's floating inside a little bubble with some little motors right inside of your phone. So it's like, hey, that's pretty cool. But the last thing I want to talk about in here is I want to talk about the Flash. Now we're going to talk about the Flash a bit more. Now I said don't use the Flash. And that is still probably the best advice you can get is don't use the flash. But every time you use the flash, you know it actually flashes twice, doesn't it? Here's the loaded question. I'm going to take 3 pictures so you can see. Why do the phones flash twice? And I don't think anybody's going to know the right answer to this.
Red out?
No, it's got nothing to do with red eye.
So they're going to illuminate and set the phone set this correct first before it takes the photograph?
So what it's doing is you don't have just a single color flash anymore. All the new modern devices, if you look at the back of your phone, it's actually easiest to see in like an iPhone 5S. You have a 5 or a 5S right there. Can I see your 5? I think I can show it visually on your 5. Yeah, I can show it visually on your 5. I don't know how well it's going to show on the screen. But if we look at your 5, you'll see there's actually multiple flashes inside of it. I'm going to see if I can turn it on real quick and make it go off. So there's not just one light. There's actually 3 different colored lights inside of there. And it's figuring out what proportion to shoot those lights off in. And I want to show you a visual representation of it because the question is, okay, there's 3 different colored lights, but what is the purpose of those 3 different colored lights? So this is the flash that you normally see. This is essentially a neutral white flash. But you have 3 different colors inside of here. Now this, guys, the last app I didn't talk, the last gadget I didn't talk about, this is the Manfrotto Lumuse 8. And it's called the Lumuse 8 because it has 8 little LEDs inside of it. And believe it or not, that's not actually the brightest it can go. That's the brightest it can go. But you diffuse it. So you diffuse it so it's not nearly as bright with these guys. And that's what your phone's doing as well. But this is just a neutral color. This is what made, remember when the guy looked weird when I took the picture earlier? It kind of blew him out and stuff like that. But then when you put on different colors, you get different effects. So that color makes, let me make sure which one that is. That color, this color makes the entire image cooler. So it makes it more pink. It makes it cooler. And then this one makes it more yellow. It makes it warmer. You see the difference if you're looking around. If you just look at anybody next to you, you'll see the difference. If you see the color change, it's actually changing the temperature, the color temperature of the scene. Phone cameras have not gotten smart enough to put this in the correct proportion yet. But the cool thing is you can actually do that yourself. Now, one of the first things we're going to talk about when we go walking around is using the flash on the device. So I want to let you know what we're going to do, and we're going to change one setting before we leave here. I'm going to take this with me. I need my wallet because it's got 300 euros in it, so I should probably carry that around. Don't know why I have that. But we're going to go out and we're going to take a walk in a couple seconds time as soon as I get everything together and I make sure Rolando is here. If you'd like to leave anything here, I can lock it up for you. So that's not a problem. We're going to be out on the open deck for a few minutes. Has anybody been outside today? It's a little nippy, so we will make that as quick as possible, but I need to make one change on your device first. Hold on, I didn't make that one change on your device, and his I might need to do while we're walking. I need you to go into your phone's into your phone's settings. Yours will be in a slightly different place. Rolando, you'll pack up like normal after? Yeah, I'm sorry. I make a mess once a cruise, and Rolando has to clean it up. It's bad. Rolando, I'll buy you beer tonight. It's okay. So you should have something. So on the iPhone, oh, yours is pretty easy, I think. So camera, HDR. Oh, you don't want to find me what I want to show you. I'm talking to your phone. It's okay. Face detection, zero shutter, GPS location, white balance. Rolando, can you take a look at this real quick and see if you can get the grid on here? Okay, so I'm going to show all the iPhone people how to do that. I don't see it exactly there. So we're in our settings. We're going to scroll down to where it says Photos and Camera. And then you should see something called Grid. That's something we need to turn on. So settings, Photos and Camera, and Grid, we need to have that turned on. And then when we go back to... Did you find it or no?
And then
It doesn't have it. Let me say the nice thing. When you get Camera 51 downloaded, that has a grid inside of it as well. So, and now when you go back to the camera, you should see a grid on your screen. Do we see a little grid on our screen when we go back to the camera there? Okay. So we've got a grid on our screen. Did you find it, Rolando, or it doesn't exist? Okay. We'll get it on another app later. I'm going to make life easier for you. As weird as this sounds, just because everybody else in the room has an iPhone and I want us to be on the same page, I'm going to loan you my older iPhone. I'm going to turn on the grid there. So you have that guy. That's going to be Rolando's phone eventually, so don't lose it. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to take the camera with us so we can go on a little safari, if you will. I'm going to grab a sip of water, and we're going to be going. I want to make sure we can all go down one flight of stairs. Are we okay? Single flight down?
What's the difference between an iPhone and Android, actually?
Ooh, loaded question for another day. I'm happy to answer that on another day.
Okay.
But hold on, I didn't talk about what that thing does. Pass me back that black thing before we get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to tell you what this thing does. It is a charger, but it will make a lot more sense to the Americans than it will to the non-North Americans and Americans than it will to the non-Americans, because here's what's cool. The plug that came with the iPhone, your plug is a lot bigger, slides into there. And then it's an additional charger for your phone. So you plug it in like this, and then you have an additional full charge for your phone. Now this is a little bit old. This was made for the iPhone 4S, just to give you a perspective on when these things were actually made. It was made for the iPhone 4S. So what we're going to do is we are going to, can we all go down one flight of stairs? Okay?
We'll come back to you, aren't we?
We're going to be back right at 5.
That's fine.
So we're going to be back right at 5. We'll always finish right at 5. I'll give you the progression. We're going down. We're going in front of the Ensemble Lounge. We're going outside of Cafe Al Baccio. Then we're going to go back towards the Grand Foyer and then up to Deck 12. And then we'll be done from there. If you would like to leave from Deck 12, you're more than welcome to leave from Deck 12. If you want to bring your stuff with you, it's completely up to you. I'm going to have my big old device right here. I need to extend my tripod. Rolando, dear, thank you for cleaning up my mess. All right. So let us go down one deck of stairs. And then we'll go up a bunch of decks on an elevator. I'm going to see what the temperature is outside. All right, so this is where we start right here. Stick around right here. This is where we're going to start. All right. It's okay. You have a phone as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have a flash on an iPad. Only the newest iPad has a flash on it. But sit back here, because we're going to be taking a picture of this. Now, if you remember, I said, I want to make sure we've got everyone, I said 99.9% of the time, we take the picture. Oh, my iPhone. Okay, I don't have an iPhone. That's an interesting one. I only have Android phones on. Okay, Rich. Didn't think you'd ever do that. I don't mind. I can shoot it with my Android phone. That's fine. Okay.
No iPhone?
No iPhone right now. It's okay. So remember I said most of the time, that's fine. I left my other iPhone upstairs. I'll get it later. I'll ping it. I'll make sure it's still connected. Yeah, we're still good. We're still good. Too many phones, I know. So when we're taking, actually we'll leave my iPhone. I'll get it when we go outside. So when you're taking a picture, this is the one case scenario when you would want to go up and down. That 1 in 1,000 scenario where you want to go up and down. But here's something I want to show you. When you're taking that picture, go ahead and tap on the wall before you take the picture, and you'll see something different than if you tapped on the sign. So you tap on the wall, just go ahead and actually, like on your picture, on your camera. Tap on the wall, tap on the sign. I'm going to have Rolando.
Yes, it lightens.
It lightens, yes.
Because it's dark.
Yeah.
You told us that earlier.
And you'll see it does all those different things. Hey, Rolando, that is my iPhone 7 up there. Can you bring it down just one deck in front of Ensemble Lounge? Yeah, just leave that on 30 seconds. Okay, great. Okay, so here's the thing. We understand that when you tap on the sign, you get a different exposure than when you tap on there. So you see, you can't get the sign and the details looking perfectly. Now let me throw another wrench into the equation for you, just because I want to. Take this picture. This is a very difficult picture to take because you have backlight coming out, so it's messing up the image, And here's a really cool trick that not a lot of people think of. To get this picture correctly, what you need to do is you need to tap on the wood. But you'll notice that my face becomes very not great when you tap on the wood. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yes, yeah.
So how do you light up my face and still get the details of the wood? Any thoughts? Yeah, but if you tap on my face, if you use the flash, it's going to lose some of the details of the wood. So here's a really cool trick. We all have smartphones now. Imagine for a second if you just took someone else's phone and lit yourself with their phone. So where's my flashlight? Yolanda's got it. So if I took my phone, my iPhone right here, and I lit myself with my iPhone, then you would get a better shot. Because I'm lighting myself. You see what I'm doing?
Yes.
So I've done this multiple times to not lose details behind me. So you won't lose details that are behind you if you front light a backlit object. You can't get close enough for the flash to work and that still will turn out okay. So what you can always do is use another flash. Now I did this before. This is the best scenario we're going to get on the ship. I've done this in an ice cave before, where I had an intricate ice carving behind me. And I wanted to get the depth of the ice carving, but I also wanted to get my face. So what I did is I front lit my own face, which gives you a concept there. Now, we're going to be going outside now. We're going to be going outside to do 3 different things. I want to let you know the 3 things we're doing outside. The first thing we're going to do outside is we're going to talk. So the nice thing is the ship is not leaving you for another 10 days, so you can definitely give these things a shot. We're going to go outside and we're going to do 3 different things. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to take pictures of sunrises and sunsets. Remember, I had you turn the grid on. I want to spend as little time outside as we need to, because I hear it's a little chilly, so I want to explain to you the concept. When we hold our phone sideways, if we have the grid on, you see we have those 2 lines. The bottom line is where you would put the horizon for a sunrise, because in a sunrise, generally the sky is more pretty than the sea. In a sunset, though, the sea is more pretty than the sky. These are what are known as your horizon lines. So you would track the horizon on there. Do you see where the lines intersect, though?
Yes.
So if you have a person, there's something called the rule of thirds. This is something the Camera 51 app will teach you as you use it. There's something called the rule of thirds, and what the rule of thirds encourages you to do is to take a person and put them at the intersecting points of the line. So if you have a sunset, and you're taking a picture of a person in the sunset, which position would you put that in? You'd put in either 1 or 2 of those on the top 2 intersecting lines. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to shoot through glass. I'm going to show you how to properly shoot through glass. We're going to shoot a picture in Cafe El Baccio of the people in Cafe El Baccio, and they're going to all get all freaked out because 15 people are outside taking pictures of that. It's great. And the last thing we're going to do outside is do something called a vanishing point. You see those lines as well. What we're going to do is we're going to use those same lines at a slight tilt, and we're going to take the lifeboats. So we're going to take the lifeboats. We're going to take a line of lifeboats. Now you'll notice with the lifeboats, there is a rail. What you're going to do is you're going to follow the rail with these, you're going to follow the rail with those horizontal lines. So those are the 3 things we're going to go do outside. And then we're going to go back inside and we're going to talk a little bit about selfies for a few minutes. So we're going to talk about that. So let's jump outside. I don't expect to spend more than about 5 minutes outside overall. So that's why I did 3 minutes of the talking right now, so we can spend less time outside. Let's see how bad it is. Oh, it's not that bad. It's a little nipply, but it's okay. Okay. So you can line up on the rail here. Let me just make sure where my camera battery is. Okay, we're good. So if we line up on the rail there, what's happening is you want to line up the horizon right on those lines. Now, you don't have a sunset, you don't have a sunrise, you don't have anything like that right now, but that's where you would want to line up the horizon. Now, let's get a volunteer. I need a volunteer real quick. You can turn around, you can be our volunteer. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend right now, everybody's going to back up, we're going to take a picture of her. Here we go. There's our volunteer. We're going to be taking a picture of her at sunset. So that means we want to put her in one of the top 2 intersecting points between the vertical and the horizontal lines. Hold the device for a second. And just go this way because you want to be at the top. So I'm just giving you that logic. So you see the concept there? So instead of putting her in the middle, because that's where we would normally go ahead and put her, what you want to do is you want to center her on one of those. You want to center her at one of those points. That's the difference between an amateur photograph and a professional photograph. Yes. So okay, he's probably got the best perspective on this. But if we go in, yes, we put her at the center of those points, but you still want to line up, you want to get a straight on shot because the horizon should be on that straight line. So you should have the horizon on the straight line there. Just to give you that concept, you should have the horizon right there on the straight line. Yeah.
You're talking about this one.
Yes. Yes. So those lines, we should have the horizon right there, and we should have her kind of near the intersecting point. And that's the concept. So as close to the intersecting point as possible with the horizon there, because that's following something called the rule of thirds. Now, only these two guys are dead on to her, but you can give this a try. Like I said, the ship's not going anywhere. The nice thing is, in Russia, you're never going to see sunrise or sunset. It's just kind of sun bath. It's a little weird, yeah.
Picture's not useless. I can't see.
The picture's useless because she's backlit. There's nothing you can really do with that device to go about doing that. What you do, let me show you, with your phone,
Tap the screen.
you can tap the screen, or, remember I talked about fill flash earlier. So if I force the flash on, it's doing a slightly better job than if it would. It's a very difficult shot to take with a phone. But if you go with the flash, you turn it on, you get within about a foot of her face with the flash. It'll do as best a job, and you see I actually get a lot of the detail there because the flash is bouncing off her face. And the flash in this case does not look artificial. Because we're lighting something that's elsewise lit. But this is where, if you really want to take it to the next level, this is not a terrible thing to take a look at. Something like this guy. The little flashlight thing that I showed you. Because that does a great job lighting up her face. So that does a great job lighting up her face. Just to give you the concept, I'm not saying go out and buy one of these things. I'm saying that if you want to take it to the next level, you can go get one of these things. The next thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to shoot through glass. Have any of you ever shot through glass before? Badly. Poorly. Here's the secret. It does not matter how dirty the glass is, as long as you put your camera directly against the glass. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shoot Cafe El Baccio real quick. So we're going to shoot Cafe El Baccio. Let's go over to Cafe El Baccio. All right, so here's the secret. What we do is we take our camera, put it directly against the glass. If you are still getting a glare when you're directly against the glass, you're going to tilt the camera down slightly. You still have a glare. Tilt the camera, meaning, yeah, and then you see you don't get the glare. So if we go in, now essentially what that's doing, now tilt it down slightly. You see you still have that glare in the upper left-hand corner. So tilt your camera, what I mean by down is tilt it like that, a little bit. And you see, now the big question is, why? Why does that work? It's because it's seeing the glass as part of your lens, and it's focusing through it. So instead of focusing on it, you're focusing through it. That's the concept. So it's a really cool trick. It works amazingly. It works amazingly. So instead of focusing on it, it's done away with all of the glare. Now, if you have a case, one of the next things we're going to talk about, if you have a case that is not black around the camera, so we're going to talk about in class number 3, then you would be best off either getting a case that's black around the camera or taking a Sharpie and coloring your case black around the camera, because that's what's giving you glare when you take pictures. Even when you take pictures without glass, the flash is bouncing off of it, different colors are bouncing off of it. We have one more thing to do outside, and then we are going inside. Our last outside thing will be right here, and then we're going to be going inside in a couple seconds from there. All right. So, do we see these lifeboats?
Yeah.
We're going to do something called a vanishing point effect. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to hold your phone and you're going to follow with the bottom line, the bottom horizontal line. You're going to follow that from about this point. So I'm going to have us all move. And we're going to, So I wanted to show you for the effect we're looking for. You see that it looks like the lifeboats go on forever. That's the concept. It's called a vanishing point effect. Now you can do this with trees, railroad tracks, buildings, anything. As long as you follow what's called a sight line, you can do that over time. Now what I'm going to do is you should see, do you see where it says B? You see it says 11, 9, 7, and B?
Yeah.
We're going to be going in where it says B. I will meet you directly inside that corridor. Give it a shot. Follow me towards B. I'll open that door. Come on in. It's warm. It's warmer.
That's a good idea, Pete.
Warmer. Yeah, no, B. So we're going to be using this right here. As soon as everybody comes in, and I can turn off the door. So I'm going to turn off the door. Come in. As soon as everybody comes in, I'm going to turn off the door. So we don't keep opening it. So we're going to be using this hallway right here. Come on in, I got to close the door. So we're going to be talking about selfies. That's what we're going to be talking about now. And why you should probably never take a selfie the way that you normally take a selfie. I'm going to wait for the whole rest of the group to come. I'm going to keep this door closed. Come on in. We're going to stop right over here. A picture. Yeah. So let me show you. The idea is you're following the line. So just so you can see my picture, you're following the line so you get almost a vanishing effect, like it goes on forever. If you've seen like rows of trees where it looks like it goes on, it just looks like it goes on. So you're following that line. Now remember, the lifeboats aren't going anywhere. I'm going to wait. Is that the last person or there's one more? Come on, he's coming. Okay. So, yes, that's the basic concept. All right, so let's talk about selfies. How many of you have used the selfie camera on your device before? It's pretty terrible. Why that is, so when I talk about the selfie camera, I'm talking about the front camera. I'm going to turn that door closed now, and then we should warm up. So we're talking about the selfie cameras on our devices. They're pretty terrible because here's the thing. The camera, even on this iPhone, is only a 7-megapixel camera for the selfie in the front. The back is a 12-megapixel camera, so it's far better. And the camera is smaller, so the front camera doesn't light in as good. The selfie camera is designed to be used for FaceTime. That's what it's designed to be used for, essentially. But the interesting concept is you can actually use the back camera to take a selfie with. And you're going, huh? So what's cool, go ahead and open up your camera app. And then you should see a little clock in the upper corner. You see the clock there? Yeah, we're going to click on the clock and we're going to choose 10S, or 10 seconds. And I want to make sure that the back camera is what you have selected. So we don't want to be on the front. You want to see, put your hand back there, you should see your hand, yeah? Okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to use a wall that has a 90-degree angle to take a selfie with the back camera, which is a really cool trick to be able to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to put our phones like this on the wall. So you're going to put your phones sideways, like that, on the wall. Put mine right in the middle. Just leave it there. Yeah, you can put your iPad there. Oh, you went to the normal timer.
How do you know where you are?
I'll show you how you know where you're in the picture. So you're okay? Put a little slight angle. Now, here's the secret to the thing. Go ahead and everybody put theirs down. We're not going to take it just yet. Keep the flash off. You're going to keep the flash off, but interestingly, it's going to use the flash. You keep the flash off, but it's going to use the flash. That's where a lot of people are like, huh? So just leave it on. Put the phone back away from you.
Or pushing the 10 seconds on.
Not yet, not yet. I'm going to count off the phone. Yeah, you're choosing the 10 second, but you're not starting it just yet. No, you're okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, 10 seconds. Yeah, and just leave it just like that. You're okay? And then what we do, okay, it's not going to be perfect, but what we're going to do, I'm going to count off numbers. So I'm just going to count off. Just remember, you don't need your number. Just know whether it's even or odd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Got it?
Got it.
You got the numbers. Okay. So if you have an odd number, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up your phone or your tablet. You're going to press the volume button, and then you're going to step back. The even numbers are going to step back already. So if you have an even number, just go ahead and step back. If you have an odd number, just press the volume button.
Which is that?
Either one, volume up or volume down, right there.
Sorry.
And what it's going to do when you press it, go ahead and put it back down. It's actually using the flash. On those of us that have devices that have flashes, it's using the flash to count you in. So did you see it? So it's not going to show you the flash on there because it doesn't have the flash. But elsewise, what's interesting, you want to be on photo, not on panel. You're on panel. So, you okay? And just put it back down. And it's using the flash to tell you exactly when it's going to take that shot. So it's counting down, and then it's using the flash to say, hey, we're going to take it in 3, 2, 1. It is not going to be perfect. I'm just giving you the concept so you can see what's going on. Let's have the even people do it. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to show you the cool way to do it. Which is the way I know.
What do you want us to do?
You can stand anywhere within that range.
So what do we do?
Just go ahead and press your volume button. Yeah, and then it should start counting down.
Not happening on my phone.
You don't have to. It is. The flash won't go because there is no flash. It's still counting down. It just has no way of telling you because it doesn't have a flash. So since it doesn't have a flash, it can't tell you. Let me make sure.
Nothing's going on.
It is. Watch. You have to press the volume button.
Nothing.
A little bit harder. The idea is just to understand the concept of what it's doing. Now,
Not a pretty picture, but it was.
here's the cool thing. Where's the next step in doing this? Well, the next step in doing this, let me see if I can make the next step work, is you can actually use, if you wanted
That's
to,
what you don't know, isn't it?
you can use your watch, if you have a smartwatch,
4 days no
to actually preview the picture before you take it.
Trouble.
I'm trying to show you. My phone is being stupid.
And then press the volume.
The volume.
Yeah. Oh, well.
My watch is being, oh, here we go. So everybody step back. Don't worry. Again, this wall is not going anywhere. Everybody step back and gather in. We're going to take a group photo. It usually goes up to my Google Photos and we share it later on the group. So everybody come in. Because here's the cool thing. I have on my watch a live picture. Now, if you have an Android phone, then you can do it on your Android phone as well. If you have an Android watch, that's why I have 2 watches, because I have an iPhone and an Android phone. And I can activate it. I have 5 watches. I have 5 phones. But I go ahead and I choose a 3-second timer. 3, 2, 1. And it's taking it. Or I can choose a single timer. Takes it right away, but the 3 seconds better because you can not look like an idiot and not have your watch on. And then I can even go back and I can review the picture. And delete it? No, it goes to Google Photos. It's never deleted. What was there as well. So, and you can also use that for spying on people because yes, what you get, you just want to get a little bit more at the end. And that came out pretty good. Now,
Yes, the volume.
you can leave your camera. Here's the cooler thing. The Apple Watch can actually connect to Wi-Fi. So you can actually have your camera, you can have your phone in a complete other location. And you can have your watch and you can remote control. No, just video, just video, just video. We can talk about that if you're a creepy person. I got ways to do that. I want to make sure, is this anybody's glasses case? Okay, cool. So, we've got 2 more things to do and 1 location I'm going to show you that's a pretty cool location. So, we've all taken a panorama before like this. But have any of you ever taken a panorama like this? It's called a vertical panel. Now what we're gonna do is the grand
Just do
foyer,
the same thing over.
essentially on deck,
Yeah, just
on
do-
deck 3, 4, and 5, spans multiple floors. The only way to get a good picture of it is to actually take a panorama in the wrong direction. So we're gonna go to the grand foyer, and we're gonna take a panorama in the wrong direction. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and take an HDR automatic photo, and then I'm gonna show you the place where I took that sail-in video, the time-lapse, in Alaska, because it's a really good place if you ever go to Alaska, and it's a place that nobody really knows about. So I'm going to show you that. It's a very cool place. Nobody really knows about it, so whenever we're sailing in, I like to show where it is. It is a guest area, so you're not breaking any rules, but nobody ever explains to you how to get there. So I'll show you how to get there. So we're going to go ahead, and we're going to shoot a vertical panorama. Alright, so to shoot a vertical panorama, what we're going to do is we're just going to turn on the pano mode on our device. And again, I just want to show you the concept of where I do this. I turn on the pano mode and be very careful. So we're turn on the pano mode and we're going to be very careful. What we're going to do is we're going to sweep up. So watch my hand over. You're going to take your wrist, you're going to point it towards the foyer, and then you're not going to use the phone that much, but you're going to sweep up. And what you will wind up getting is a really unique picture of the entire foyer. That's impossible to take elsewhere. So just turn your wrist and watch the arrow, follow the arrow. It's called a vertical panorama. And I just want you to get the concept. You're not going to get perfect. It's actually better to take it from deck 3, but I don't want to go all the way down to deck 3 and go back. You're going to hold it this way. And you're going to move your wrist. So you're going to hold it that way. You need to get the start. You're going to move your wrist. I just want you to understand the concept. You're not going to take a perfect one right now. Trust me. The better place to take this from deck 3. I just don't want to go down 2 flights of stairs and then back up to deck 12. But it's just to give you the concept. I'm going to have you meet me over here. We're going to talk about one last thing. Then we're going to go up to deck 12 and then we're done. Alright, so what I want to do, I'm going to check some things on your phone, and then you're just going to proceed right over there. What we're turning on, making sure that you have HDR in photo set to auto, which is good. So we're going to go ahead and just a couple feet away, HDR inside of the photos. I think this is my phone, it should be set the right way, but who knows. So go to photo, HDR set to auto. HDR, yep, just
Always be auto or
always be
Oh,
auto.
I thought you had it always on. Okay.
Yeah, HDR on auto. Oh no, so you just have on or off.
Me too. Yeah.
If you just have on or off, it's because you have iPhone 5s. So I'm going to talk about HDR a little bit. I'll show you how the auto works. Do we have HDR auto?
Pressed it.
The auto, yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So you just have on or off because you have a 5. It's okay. 5S should have auto, right? Yep, that's good. You need to be on photo to be able to get that. HDR? Okay, you just have on or off. We'll talk about the iPhone 5s. Okay, auto and auto. Okay. So for the last location we're going today, we are going to deck number 12. We're going to take the forward elevators to go to deck number 12. And we're going to go to the only place on the ship I can consistently, you can go that way, I can consistently trick an HDR photo to automatically work. And that is in the solarium on deck 12. So that's where we're headed right now.
What does HDR actually mean?
High dynamic range. So HDR stands for high dynamic range. What we're going to do is, if you look at the wall in the solarium, it's got white flowers and it's got green flowers. And what it's going to do is it's going to blend those together into a single image. That's what HDR Auto is going to go ahead and do for us. So it's going to blend together the white flowers and the green flowers into a single image. So we're going to go up to deck 12. I'm going to show you 2 things on deck 12, and we will dismiss from deck 12 about 4 or 5 minutes from now, depending on elevator traffic.
So that's why
It only takes the two photographs.
Yes, because it's merging those two photographs together. Oh, sorry. All right, as many of us can fit in here,
You're
go
gonna
ahead.
regret that.
I'm gonna. I will meet you on deck 12 with everyone else that can't fit in the elevator. So if once it gets uncomfortable, I'm gonna go with everyone else. I don't think we can all fit in there. Let's take the second elevator. Yeah, just because we need a second one anyway. Deck 12, guys. Okay, hopefully they. I got it. Where's the next closest elevator? Okay, this is on 4. There we go. That was very efficient, actually. I've never gotten an elevator this fast. What's up, bud?
Which deck, madam?
Deck 12. We're all going to 12.
All 12?
All going to 12. We're on a safari.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Everyone else got in the other elevator. I just didn't want to cramp an elevator.
They say 20, but that's.
No, that's 20 people, 2 midgets stacked in
I know.
10 midgets stacked in 2 layers. 10 midgets stacked in 2 layers is 20 people. Don't worry, the lifeboats are 120. Yeah. All right. Did we really beat that elevator up here? Oh my, we beat the elevator up here. Look at that. All right. So, if you have HDR auto on, what we're going to do is we're going to take our phones and point it towards this back wall in the solarium. I want you to remember, we're taking pictures of the wall, not of the people in the pool. I don't need them going to guest relations and saying some creepy guy in a safari hat, because it happened once, brought a whole bunch of people to the pool to take pictures of me in my bathing suit, okay? We're taking a picture, there's a big wall, and we've got green and white flowers on the wall. The HDR, if you have HDR auto enabled, it's going to automatically turn on an HDR photo there because it recognizes the contrast in colors. Now, I mentioned before shooting something in slow motion. These are the fountains that if you shoot in slow motion, you can actually see the droplets of water. All right. So we have this wall of flowers right here. And when you point your phone towards there, it should actually recommend that you actually take an HDR photo. It did. So I'm showing you because that's the only place you can consistently trick an HDR to work. Now, if you have an iPhone 5, it's a little more difficult because you can only turn it on or off. But whenever you have contrasting colors, that's when you want to turn it on. You see you have the dark green and the light white. That's where an HDR would do you a lot of good, is with the dark green and the white.
That one there, that's all.
Yes, that's good. Yes. So that's what you want to have because you have, you have a 5. So you want to turn it on when you have like a waterfall and some trees or different things like that. You would want to turn the HDR on when you have that scenario. So don't worry, that's because you held your finger on something, so it's auto exposure, auto focus lock. Don't worry about that. It's your case.
Yeah,
You
but
read?
I mean, is the HDR on?
So you just have on or off on that device.
Yeah.
So you want to just leave it on when you would have a scenario where it would would be beneficial.
Okay.
And that's much closer to what your eyes would see. This
Okay.
is not a perfect scenario, but it's the best thing on the ship for doing it. Where an HDR works really well is, say you have a glacier and you have some mountains. It's going to blend the two colors together perfectly. Now the last place we're going to go is actually back that way. So we're going to go back towards the gym. And I'm going to show you my secret spot for taking pictures of the ship pulling in and out of port and things like that not a lot of people know about or know how to get to. And people think I'm crazy that I show them this, but I will never mention this elsewhere.
I'll show you in a minute.
Uh-huh.
Stripes, the can you see the
Yes, that's just from the light. There's really no way to get rid of that. It's just what your camera picked up. So the last thing is I want to show you the bridge above the bridge. That's what I call it. It's called the bridge above the bridge. And there's only one way to get there. I would like to welcome some of you for the first time to the fitness center. So we're going to go right in the fitness center, and I want to show you my place where I take all of my time lapses and different things like that. Now, most people will go into Sky Lounge or somewhere like that to do that, but the big secret place that you can take pictures is right here. What's up, bud?
The only one.
This is the only way to get out here. The thing is, there is no sensor on the inside of the door.
Right.
It's because people are walking, doing weights and everything like that, so you have to press the button.
Press the button.
But people don't know about that, so they think it's a crew-only area.
Seen the door, didn't have to get out.
Yep. So the bridge is down directly one deck from here. So that's actually the bridge wings. So you have the exact same view as the bridge when you're out here. So if you want to take a pano, if you want to get us pulling into port, pulling out of port, this is the best place to do it, because here's the thing. Everybody crowds up on deck 14 and deck 16 because nobody knows how to get here. They crowd on 14 and 16. If you happen to be on a Solstice class ship, which is the Solstice in Alaska, it is very cold in Alaska, but what you can do is you can actually get under this glass and then you don't have any wind. You can get under the glass and then you can shoot through the glass and you don't have any wind. As well as what I've done is I've taken my GoPro and I put my GoPro right in the center of the mast right out there on a Gorilla Pod, and it works fantastically. Have any of you ever been out here before? No. That's why I show you this. You might have been on...
But not here, not on this.
Yeah. So, no, but the thing is, this is on all of our Solstice class ships. It's right here on all the Solstice class ships. Nobody ever finds it because they don't know you can go out here. And this is not considered a crew area. This is actually, it's a really strange area because it's considered both a guest and a crew area. Because the crew are allowed to use the gym and it's technically part of the gym. So it's both a guest and a crew area. So you'll see people up here and you'll have no clue if they're guests or crew. And it's actually a much better view. We were in Norway 2 weeks ago. We actually did the photo safari in the Geringer Fjord. It was really cool. We did it at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we did it in the Geringer Fjord, but we went to the helipad, but the views were far better up here. And there's like nobody up here. So that's the secret. So we have 5 days off, essentially. We're going to meet again on the next sea day. On the next sea day, we're going to be talking about advanced smartphone tips, when to charge, what to charge with, different cases, screen protectors, VPNs, different things like that. Stuff that we're not going to talk about that doesn't translate well to a room of 200 people in Celebrity Central. So these are things that are designed for 20 people. Stop me at any time. But here's the thing. We have 5 days. We have 5 port days. Let's sort out your Gmail accounts. Let's sort out your Google Photos. Let's get that all done. So then you have 5 more days after that to ask questions.